Pokemon Generation 10 leaks and rumors are off the charts. The floodgates are now open and we know pretty much what the game is going to be about. Now, pretty much what I'm about to tell you was from the Terra leaks, the data mine, and everything associated to that. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, starting everything off with the islands and everything associated. So if you take a look at this right here, this is a believed image on how the map is going to look like. So the original image or the sketch on how things could look like, this seems to be what the actual map is going to look like. So the first island is going to have Island 1, hotel surrounding areas, and a bunch of different things. So Island 1 is essentially where you're going to start the game most likely. So I believe how you're going to start the game is there's going to be a little runway or an airport, and you're going to land your plane, and then you're going to get off and start your adventure. So you get your hotel, you get your observatory deck, you get the grass gym, and you get the Woobat tunnel, which leads you to believe, is the Woobat or the bat Pokemon that we're supposed to get, a grass bat, is this actually a reality? To me, I think a grass bat might actually be the starter or one of the starter Pokemon, because grass gym, you have Symbol Summit, which might be a legendary place that you could only get there after you do a certain amount of things in the story. That would make sense, but also Island 2, we have the Poison Swamp area and the Poison type gym. So this is honestly really cool because the idea of having to do some sort of gym challenge, maybe you have to go and catch a whole bunch of swamp type Pokemons or get rid of the poison aspect of the Poison Swampy area. Maybe that could be it. Island 3, we have Ant Hill Fieldland, which could be just a hill full of Pokemon or just ants or whatever the case may be, which would be really interesting. Island 4, we have no landmarks, so there's probably not going to be anything there but you and your Pokemon to go and explore and hopefully catch a bunch of different Pokemon. There's going to be no people on this island. Island 5, we have Marsh area, Dam Power Plant, Icicle Snowfield, Summit area, Waste area, and Flowing Water area. So this leads you to believe that this is probably going to be the mountain tops or the snowy area, which has some sort of power plant to keep the power moving throughout the world. Maybe that's the case, but honestly, this is really, really exciting. So there's most likely going to be just ice type Pokemon, water type Pokemon you can go out and catch because it is an open world. So no matter how I'm describing these islands, you will be able to go from one island to the next island to the next island. You can start off at Island 8. You can start off at Island 3 if you wanted to, but of course, you just start that one point. Everyone starts off at Island 1, and then you can make your way over to every other island, which is really, really awesome. Now we got Island 6. We got the sandy area, the rocky area, and the flying gym. So this is most likely going to be inside of the desert, which looks like you got the sandy area, which is going to be some desert place, and then you got rocks. Maybe it's going to be a mine. Then you get the flying type gym. I honestly would have thought the flying type gym would have been in the sky somewhere, but I guess that's not the case. Island 7, you get the fighting gym and the Rocky Island. So it seems like, is there going to be different areas like Pokemon Legends ZA where there was one area for these specific Pokemon, the next area? I honestly hope that's not the case. But right now, when I'm reading this, it seems like a rocky area on Island 6 might associate it to there's different little Pokemon, rock type Pokemon. There's just a tiny little slab of rock and that's where the Pokemon. But then on Island 7, we got the Goro Rock Island, which is going to be an island that's made out of rocks with a whole bunch of rock type Pokemon. Maybe that's the case, who knows. But a potential on the Rocky Island, you might get a legendary Pokemon because it seems like we will see all the legendary Pokemon from past games. So on the Rocky Island, are we going to be seeing Terrakion? Because according to this leak, this could be what that actually is implied. So maybe every island has a certain legendary Pokemon, and as you progress throughout the story, you get some of those Pokemon, you can go and catch them, and it's going to be pretty happy medium from there. Now moving over to Island 8. Now this is where it becomes very interesting. You got the capital city, the dark gym, the group headquarters. So in pretty much every Pokemon game, you can see there's a team headquarters and your own group headquarters. So is this going to be like a Team Rocket base, or is this going to be your own thing? But we knew about a city, so does this mean what it's going to be? That big city that we saw in the previous leagues? That could be what it is. But overall, I think that this is really, really cool. Maybe you have to go over there to get your TM shop, and you go in hair salon, and if you want to customize your character or get some more Pokeballs, you go over there, because not every single island is going to have a Pokemon Center or a Pokemart, whatever it is. But this seems really, really cool. You even got the Ivy Jungle. I better see something to do with an Ivysaur, a Bulbasaur, a Venusaur. Hopefully that's the case, but overall it seems to be really, really exciting. Now moving over to Island 9, we got the normal gym. So just one island is going to have the normal gym, kind of like if you look at Wind Waker, there was little islands that had just a little chest and that's it. It seems like the normal type gym might just be on a single island, because what contributes to an island, fun fact, it has to have a tree on it. That's pretty much it. As long as you got a tree, a bit of grass, and there you go, that's an island. So as long as we see the normal type gym on just a slab of grass with a little tree, there you go, that's an island. So maybe that's what it's going to be, just the normal type gym in the middle of nowhere. So if you want to hit that one first, well, then you can go and hit it first. So Island 10, we got no landmarks. Now, this is really interesting. Just like before, you could probably just go to this island, get yourself, I don't know, maybe there's going to be a Charmander, maybe there's just going to be grass type Pokemon, who knows, but there's not going to be anything there besides just Pokemon. So probably little items as well, but overall really interesting. Island 11, we got mid-sized towns. So if you got the Pokemon League and the Pokemon Champion Trials. So this seems like where the champion battle and everything is going to be associated on this island. But of course, you could probably go there with your scooter at the start of the game. But just like any Pokemon game, trying to go to the league before you're ready is going to end you and not being able to pass, that's for sure. But yeah, I think my theory has been confirmed here right now. We got different areas. Blizzard area, there's going to be probably a Blizzard. Glacier Lake, going to be a lake full of glaciers and Pokemon like that. Forest area, of course, you've got your forest, but it seems like a lot of different islands are just going to be a forest, so we're going to have to see how that plays out. Now there's a crazy amount of islands here, so as you see here, Island 12, we got the desert area, you got the main resort, the research lab, the desert stadium, the abandoned mine cave, a whole bunch of things to do with like mining and desert and the old time folks, kind of things like that. So overall, of course, you got your ghost island, there's gonna be ghost type Pokemon, that's where you can get your Gengar, you can get yourself your Ghastly, or whatever other ghost type Pokemon you want, which is honestly really cool. Island of Thones and Thones Path, which could be a team or could be something else. Overall, that is very, very interesting. Island 14, we got the Fairy Island, the Fairy Island Cave, the Fairy Gym, which is honestly really cool. You're going to have fairy type Pokemon, which every island is going to be separated in different ways. Island 50 in the southern western island, which is probably going to be in a western area where there's going to be cowboys all over the place. That's what I hope to see, because I want to see some different colonies and things like that. Island 16, we got the Desert Cauldron. Honestly, this is really interesting. I feel like this is where you're going to get yourself Groudon if you really want to Groudon in this Pokemon game. Island 17, the Ruins. Of course, you want to see some ruins because maybe this is where you get another legendary Pokemon. Rayquaza, hey, I'm open to ideas. Island of Ruin in the forest, and also platformed island. So anyways, very, very interesting. Okay, so if this wasn't already interesting, we got even more confirmation that you will be able to go underwater, in fact, because Ocean 1, we got the Magen Research Lab Psychic, and then the Neo Abyss. So you will be able to go underwater and see the Abyss and super weird Pokemon and a whole bunch of things, and potentially even a Kyogre, because that would be really awesome. Ocean 2 to Ocean 8, you have Deep Sea 1 to Deep Sea 10, which is really cool. So hopefully we see a bunch of different Pokemon like Kyogre and maybe other type Lugia I would like to see. And then you got the Legendary Temple Wind and the Legendary Temple Wave. So whatever game you get, you could probably access this temple. So depending if you've got winds and you're underwater, it'll be a wind temple underwater. Unless this just means that you get either the Legendary Wind Temple, which is going to be in the sky and you have to fly. You got to get yourself a flying type Pokemon that can bring you there on your scooter. And then you get the Legendary Temple of Wave, waves where you have to go underwater to get yourself the legendary Pokemon, which I wonder what it's going to be. And then I wanted to take a look at this right here. This might not be related to Generation 10, or it might be, but if you take a look at this right here, you got a Jigglypuff just jumping around on the sofa. Now, this is going to be the Super Bowl ad, so I wonder exactly what does this mean? Does this mean that they're ready to announce something for Generation 10? They're ready to announce a Jigglypuff, or a Legendary Jigglypuff, or a Mega Jigglypuff, or what exactly does this mean? So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is really interesting? Are you excited for Pokemon Generation 10? Because for me, I am so excited for Generation 10. I can't tell you how excited I actually am for this game, because it's wild. It's wild to me that you're finally able to go back underwater. It's been such a long time since you were able to go underwater. Go in the sky so you can fly around, kind of like an Oris. I believe that that's the only game that I can refer to. Then we also have the fact that there's going to be a lot of different possibilities, like a bunch of different islands, and probably some of these islands that weren't even leaked today might even be others, because it seems like there's going to be 30 different islands. So some of them, like I mentioned, maybe the 30 different islands, that what equivalates to that is that some islands are just going to be a tree, maybe a little chest, and a little bit of grass, and that's what considers an island, or it's going to be something much different. So anyways, let me know what you think about Pokemon Generation 10 in the comment section down below. I would really love to know how you think about this. And anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and with that being said, see you in the next one.